Just checking this out, finding out if this actually is gonna work the way it should. It says I gotta have 1,000 subscribers, but obviously I don't understand why this is working, so we're just trying it. So yeah, if anybody went and looked at my shorts with me licking the COVID test from my wife, I didn't get sick, obviously. I just got done doing the rear suspension in my truck. So what I did is I took the rear or the front leaves that I had, the 8-inch ones that were under my truck, and cut the ends off, where the spring eyes are. Cut them off, pulled my 56s out, and took them completely apart. It's the first time that main leaf on that truck's ever been off the truck, and it came right off. I was kind of impressed by it. Kind of a pain in the ass because I still got to put them other hangers on it. It's got a little bit of rake still in the back, not much now. Now it's almost, you know what I mean? It's like 2 inches of difference from the front to the back. But now I got the 2 leaves that got to go back in the front, so I got no choice to put them hangers that I have on the back that I took off the 77 3/4 ton frame. And then where the cross member is, where them hangers are on the I've been sitting and thinking. That's how I know so much stuff, because I think a lot. In the cross member that the hangers, the rear hangers were on that 3/4 ton 77 frame I have. Those are gonna go. I'm gonna cut that off, and I think I'm gonna make shock mounts on the back for it. So then I can, lowering that, I can put them shocks on the front that are garbage and put them on the back, because that's where they were intended for. Those came off. Those were on there because they were long. I got them. They're still in good condition, but they came off they got rust on them. They came off a 98 two-wheel drive dually crew cab, and they were really long. So they work, but there's too short for the front. The rears that I have on there were actually on the front of my truck, and there's a reason why the one guard covers on the one and one on the other, because I cut one off, and I never got around to cutting the other side off. So if anybody's popping in here to talk to me about my dogs, Goliath hurt his foot. I got the short with him tucking his leg back. He stepped on something and hurt his pad on one of his toes. So now he's sitting around limping. So I made the song about it, or put a song on it. So the wife went to work today. I have no clue what's wrong with her, but she don't got no COVID. I'd be sick. Or, you know what I mean, she might have it, and, you know what I mean, I'm just immune to the damn shit. When it was real bad, I was in public with lots of people, because we went downtown Little Rock for the fireworks, even with my daughter. Me and her didn't get sick, and we were maskless. There was hundreds of thousands of people around us maskless, and nobody got sick. So I'm not worried about that stuff, because, you know what I mean, I think all that stuff, I don't believe in things like that. I don't think sick, so I don't get sick. That's just who I am. What, princess? What do you want? just sitting here looking at me like, who the hell are you talking to? I'm talking to nobody. There ain't nobody on here looking at this. They see you, princess. Here's a happy girl. I gotta vacuum. We're gonna vacuum and then shower. That's what the rest of my night's gonna be when this is over with. Because dogs, like especially Rottweilers, they will put lots of hair on your floor. Or when you're not looking, they will mess up a floor. That one only. It's the only Rottweiler I ever had that doesn't like floors or cords. Well, I broke her out the chewing on cords thing because we use the oil heaters that plug in the wall. Because, you know what I mean, Arkansas normally doesn't get much cold weather. So the oil heaters that plug in, we use those, usually 3 of them. And I circulate the hot air with fans. I thought about building my own stove, though, because I moved to Arkansas from Wisconsin, and anybody up there would know that if this is a pretty cool idea. You can do this with hot water too if you want, you know what I mean, have your own like cabin in the woods, no electricity. A water heater, copper ran into where the heating elements would run, and you run that to boil the copper pipe or rod into boiling water, and you have a fire heat that up, and it heats that copper up, and takes the copper, heats the copper and sends it into the water heater, which heats up your water, but you'd still have you'd have to have something that pressures that hot water up, if you can understand what I mean about that. If you ain't got running water and no pressure, it's not going to work. But my heater that I thought about, I got an old AC unit that the blower motor slides right out of, and the reason I don't use I got window units now. The blower motor for the AC unit, the board for it it's a crappy ass design. It's got an A coil, and this is a shitty old trailer. So what happens when condensation builds up, it drops, you know what I mean? So if you built up condensation in your AC unit, and say the board and the heating unit for the house is under that thing. So you can understand the death trap it actually is. I don't use it. So the blower motor comes out, and the board for it I've replaced like 6 different times from multiple different condensation problems. So I stopped using it and put window units in because it's just too dangerous. And it gets in the, you know what I mean, somebody accidentally kicks the heater on, and it sends, you know what I mean, like it's like heating coils. I've looked down there, and it's under the blower motor, and it heats, water hits that, and it's like 220, then kaboom, you know what I mean, it starts on fire. If you know, water and electricity, you know what I mean, once fire happens, water and electricity, it doesn't happen, you know what I mean, or it just doesn't work. It just, you know what I mean, you have to cut the power. You can keep spraying water on it, it just makes it worse. So I was thinking, if I got an old shed and put it outside in like an old wood stove, and it's got to be significantly far away from the trailer, and it might be best to bury it, but this is temporary because we only get a couple months of cold weather. Running the stovepipe to that blower motor, and where there's one side that's open on it, put the tube to it, make a flange, shove the tube on it, and then putting that in that shed too, and letting it, the wood stove would heat the shed, the stovepipe would come out with the smoke. So if you don't got smoke in it, you know what I mean, it'd be like a test run, and it's building heat in it. the stovepipe would go out and it'd be laid on the ground. This wouldn't have flame on it. You know what I mean? It's just pulling heat from the blower motor, and then have it ran into one vent, and then send it up into the trailer, where the blower motor would circulate it just like it would with the AC unit, it just doing it in a different area. So it'd heat up my house faster than the oil heaters would, and I wouldn't have to use so much fucking electricity. But then again, trying to buy one of them wood stoves sometimes is like a $300 ordeal. This cigarette keeps going on me. They're junk like that. Cheap, crappy ass cigarettes. So that's just some idea that I had. What bothers me is people don't like, they'll watch your stuff but not subscribe. That, to me, it's like, what are you really watching? Do you even know how to use YouTube? That's my question. So, that between the homeless people with the only, I'll explain this now that I'm live. The only reason why I say bring up the homeless people, I know it might, some people are Karens and get bent out of shape about what people say, but in the other hand, you got more views because of it. Second of all, there is scammers out there, and if you are trying to make quick profit from getting views, and then what I realize, it's not, when I see homeless people here in Little Rock, they're standing on a corner. They might live in a tent, they might live in a car, but they're on a corner, and some of them have missing body parts. I seen a guy with no legs, he has no arms, and I've gave him money. Some black guy, he came up to me in one of the Walmart parking lots. He's like, "Hey, you got some?" I felt like a strong arm, but I gave him, I'm like, I felt sorry. It's like, I'll give you some money, because he probably lost his limbs and stuff because issues, probably being diabetic. That's what and you know what I mean, not getting the proper attention for it, or maybe even like a scratch and then you get gangrene or something like that, or some kind of, I'm just gonna say like diabetes. But half the homeless people that I actually see are grubby. You know what I mean? They kind of look like me, fucking, when I'm wearing my work clothes, like messed up hair. They ain't all dolled up, sitting in a car. You know what I mean? Some of them, I know one for sure was kicked off of Twitch because nudity. That's what happened. Something kicked back on, you know what I mean? The OnlyFans was on, and it was streaming Twitch at the same time. So I know the one for a fact, and that's why I showed the Twitch. And it's a sham, you know what I mean? Honest to God, you know what I mean? I know that, because when people are on Twitch, the word gets, oh, this person just got banned. It's not... And if you are putting nudity on Twitch, you get banned. And most promote their OnlyFans off of Twitch because they put a link tree in the comments, and it's there for eye candy. So, you know what I mean? For me to explain this, scammers will manipulate, and when I say weak-minded, weak-minded would mean like they don't know what they're actually thinking, but they're going to pay them money thinking they're helpless. But if you've been homeless for months on end and you're making over, you know what I mean, 10 grand in a month, or telling people they make 10 grand in a month, you kind of look, you know what I mean, fake. Because me and my wife, we don't make 10 grand a month. We're poor. So, we seem to be getting by fine. You know what I mean? There is a struggle with bills that I don't explain. But if we had 10 grand a month, we certainly wouldn't be living in a shitbox. You know what I mean? That's what I don't get. Is if somebody was making 10 grand, don't, you know what I mean? I've done financial literacy. Don't keep swiping your credit card just because you ain't got the money. Don't. So then when you're also pretty, you will actually make, and I'm being hands down, if you don't like this idea or not, you being pretty would be, because there's a lot of fine women that are living homeless for some reason on YouTube out of their car, and they get all the views, which is a joke, and people are paying them a significant amount of money. And if they're still homeless week in and week out, and somebody say you're making a profit of $400 a night from people giving you donations, you don't even want to know the outcome, because once the government finds out, you go to prison. There's a law against it. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So what I'm basically was trying to get at is, hands down, legally, when I say get a pool and put it even if you have to put it next to your car on Twitch, and put a swimming suit on and do squats, you put your link tree on, and even if you gotta, you know what I mean, do your business for that, but you set yourself up. And I know I'm kind of being rude about saying what I'm about to say, is an OnlyFans. Because all these dudes that are giving you money will also look at you naked. It's the same thing as most bars will keep a pretty looking woman as a bartender, because it's eye candy. It's part of a legitimate business with me explaining that. No, like I said, no hard feelings. I'm not trying to be a dick, but in the other end, I'm trying to actually help you out. When people say things that might hurt your feelings, think of it this way: I'm using constructive criticism, and if you know what constructive criticism is, most don't like constructive criticism. If that helps, you know what I mean. Once this gets out and people actually view it, they'd rather, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to beat you down or anything. I think it's bullshit that you have to put yourself out there and put yourself on YouTube, and then some on here, like I said, there's other people that know this stuff. Some actually have valid addresses, and that's how the IRS is going to come after you. And even if somebody donated money to you nowadays, you have to pay that back in Texas, if you understand what I mean about it. And if you're taking in donations and you have a valid address, and it's, you know what I mean, significant address, you got a lump sum of money posing as a homeless person. Like I said, when they find that out, and they're already arming these IRS people with AR-15s and stuff, so just imagine what they're gonna do. I'm not joking. They will come after you for, it's like under embezzlement, I think, or embezzling. And then a con artist. I know a con artist that's sitting 15 years in prison. His last name's Boswell. If most people that might see this know, when they heard me say Boswell built Edelbrock carburetors. He's the one who designed it, because he used to work for Carter. You know, he patented it, and there's what other carburetors for Briggs and Stratton. That, like, this guy's a genius. So what happened was, NASCAR, because he was building these carburetors, NASCAR gave him a whole bunch of money and said, hey, we want you to make a carburetor and I might get in deep shit for saying this, because I actually know where these two fucking carburetors are. These two patents. Okay? I actually know where they are. Maybe they'll pay me and I'll tell them. You know what I mean? I don't get along with the guy that has them. So, let's just say this. NASCAR gave this Boswell guy a lot of money to build a carburetor because they came to him because he was building other carburetors for other things that were building power plus fuel efficiency. And they said, can you build us a car? And they made him sign a contract. Can you build us a carburetor that builds horsepower and fuel economy for NASCAR, so the cars that are going on the track don't have to fuel up so much. Now, do you understand what I mean about it? It's NASCAR. He said, yeah, and he built 2 fucking prototypes. And the goddamn carburetor builds almost 150 horse. It works so well. I sat and talked to this guy before. It works so well that he didn't want to give that back. He didn't want to give that to NASCAR. So what he did is he knew he was going to get locked up from it. Turned around and sold off all of his assets in an auction. And then sent the carburetors to a friend. And these 2 carburetors are sitting in the guy's garage. He's a loader operator, if you understand that. And I heard the story between the two different guys, which is odd, completely odd that I found that out. Because one said one thing he wouldn't say where they were, that'd be Boswell. The other one said he has them, that he bought them in the auction. And he has them sitting in his garage. So, the carburetor builds fuel economy and that much horsepower. Most carburetors won't actually even do that, if you can understand that. And that's a crazy story to know. And I watched this guy draw blueprint after blueprint after blueprint of carburetors before. So the guy's like a genius. I know a whole bunch of people, different people like this. I was a machinist. I dismantled big, large ships with some of the greatest machinists alive. So, if you can understand that, you know what I mean? I get my cockiness from it, and some of the weird shit you see me do is I know tricks. It's all like right up here. Some of the stuff is you ain't got money to do, like the short that I made with when I was putting the lift in my truck. I need to get a bottle of water. It's got tires under it, sitting on the skid plate, like holding it up completely, and a jack on one side because I have to have balance off the one side so the truck don't drop. I don't got big jack stands. Like literally, I have to go to Kurt and have him make me some big ass ones, and shipping those aren't going to be cheap. So that's one of the things I got to do. Bottle of water. Oh, she sure is a shit out of there. If you've seen anything in there. So yeah, I ain't rich by any means. I started this because when it comes to me doing things, I find myself explaining it multiple times to people. I'll actually talk about that too, what I'm about to explain. So I find myself explaining the same subject multiple times. And then, do you ever find yourself like wanting to know an answer to something, and some are like that. Some need an answer, and they're always on social media asking questions, especially on a small block engine page that I'm on, and there's always the problem with social media nowadays is there's too much rudeness. So if you're telling the guy what he needs to do, you also get it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that, it's, you know what I mean? Or somebody just that doesn't know telling you something just to tell you something so to show that they commented, but hands down they're inaccurate by 100% of anything. Like literally, and then you see them on a different page like, well, how do I get these spark plugs out? It's like, I thought you built, you know what I mean, engines. You're telling guys you built engines, but you can't get the spark plugs out? You know what I mean? That's why I'm on here now. Like, I have my own page. It's private. And some that have tried to join it, I got multiple different reasons why. I don't want the wrong type of people on my page. That's the whole reason why I have my Facebook private for the Burblife. I want it Burb only. I don't want a Burb or crew cab, actually. I will allow crew cabs. You know what I mean? It goes for all gears. You know what I mean? So, all Burbs. All crew cabs. If you can understand that. Because a crew cab will fit on a Burb frame. That's why I have to add crew cabs. So, needless to say, I had a couple people on there that I had to literally kick off. Because it was like the things that you told them, they weren't getting. That might be why I get some dislikes, because they know me. And you get woken up, you know what I mean, messenger, ding, all hours of the night, for some bullshit. You know what I mean? Bullshit. It's like, dude, I just told you this. And then you asked on how, you know what I mean, you're asking on the same page. Two, on a different page, the same question, and you're asking me. You're asking 900 different people. And then you're private messaging me in the middle of the night, and then I gave you your answer until you get, well, fuck you. That's what I got back. It's like, nope, I ain't dealing with your shit. I don't deal with it. That, you know what I mean? I got enough stress in my life. I don't have to deal with yours. Locked. That's how it works. That's me just explaining, you know what I mean? I'm kind of getting tired of just going on Facebook, seeing the same shit. Like, what heads are these? And then like two posts under it are the same damn parts. And the 900 of the same answers. It's like, dude, go look down in the comments. I'm getting tired of that. So there's more than enough information on Google for anything you're going to ask. So that's why I'm on here. There's got multiple reasons. My truck, when I'm dead and gone, is going to my daughter. So when somebody says it looks like a piece of shit, it's like, I ain't even done building it then, though. You know what I mean? It isn't supposed to be show. I'm not building a show truck that sits in a parking lot. I'm not building a truck that's like driving down the road like, hey, look at me. You know what I mean? Like the squatted truck guys, where they're driving down the road, you're looking at it from the front, and it's like, oh, here comes a big lifted truck, and then it's like right past. It's like, how does the sheriff out here allow this on windy, bendy roads where if you go over 35 mile an hour in a rainstorm, you're skidding out regardless, and you're ended up in the pickers all twisted up. Especially out on the road by me, because I've seen a million accidents. There's always an accident like once a week out on the main road. I hear them all the time. I've had a rescue. I got pictures of me trying to yank. We got one snow in the guy's F-150. He had it parked in his driveway. And it was like ice snow and then like a glazing of snow and then ice under it. Okay, I come from Wisconsin, I can drive into shit. You know what I mean? And when I worked at the boneyard, I drove, you know, I worked in 20 minus, 20 below zero, you know what I mean? I worked in it. It was optional work day, and I did work those days. And then drove there in a Suburban, an 85 Suburban from my hometown to Sturgeon Bay. So this guy parks his truck on a slope, the driveway's like that, and gets all the way in the house, and must have not realized it was sliding back when he was going into the house. It ended up across the road in this. If you end up in the ditch, you know that snow will pack up as it hits and sinks. You would know this if you watch Highway Through Hell with Jamie Davis and Elk Wiring for tow trucks. That snow packs up under your vehicle and makes it hard to pull it out. Well, winch, you know what I mean? Or I didn't have the winch actually, now I got the winch. Somebody's trying to pull it with an 1,800-pound winch. I'm like, I ain't gonna move it. It ain't gonna budget. I drug it in to the point where I hooked it up to the front of my truck. Drug it back to the point where I wasn't grabbing traction on the road. There was so much ice on it. And I had a Jeep, another crawler guy shows up and he hooks onto me with his Jeep. And we got two pulling on the thing and it didn't move. So that's just, you know what I mean, a rubber recovery that wasn't going to work. And now I got the 12,000 pounder. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about that crap. And when I got like 2,200 views on that factory tow hook. In the one comment that I get, it's like, only if you knew what he's doing with that tow hook. What do you know that I was doing? Were you here standing in the woods? You know what I mean? Were you standing in the woods to see what I did? I took a tree, you know what I mean? Just, if you see the front of my house, it was bad. It was like stuff would start overgrowing, and I get these vines that are nasty too that don't stop growing. You can chop them down and they grow right back. So on the tongues, the trailer tongues, the tree grew up and it was beating the siding and wrecking the roof. It was denting it, and it's like every time it got windy, you would hear doosh, doosh, doosh. And it wasn't in the ground all that much. And what I did is ran my cable out, you know what I mean, wrapped a chain on it, ran my cable out, brought it back to my truck, just like if you're going to snatch block, and start pulling with the winch, and it's like you all hear you hear it tugging and tugging and tugging and winding, and it's like the truck ain't moving, and it's like what's happening? I get out and look, and the hook's bent. So I directly hooked chain on it and just backed up, and it tweaked it a little bit more. So I undid the winch, you know what I mean, wrapped that around my bumper, you know what I mean, that's why that edge is up there. The bull bar thing that's on that bumper. You know what I mean? You can loop it, hook it, and you can have the whole line wrapped around that thing, ain't going nowhere the way I got it set up. So that's how that end actually got bent. That metal is actually really brittle. Leaf springs are stronger. Let's just put it that way. I just cut 2 leaf springs, ends off of it. Leaf springs are actually stronger. Let's just put it that way. I'm watching this alligator hunting show. It's old. I didn't know I had these channels. I got regular antenna. You know what I mean? I graduated from DVDs when we first moved here. We were so poor that, and we still are, we didn't have cable. You know what I mean? We can't even get fiber optic wiring ran up into this trailer park. One of the reasons why I got a YouTube is to do whatever I can to dig myself out of this shit box. I can't get internet. You know what I mean? If I wanted to run a PC, I like to do gaming. I can't even play gaming. You know what I mean? I can't even play my Xbox because everything takes internet. That's how bullshit it is. AT&T, and then it's like all the providers out here are like, you know what I mean? Like it's like got their own constitution. No, we're not running. Even though everybody on the main drag has AT&T, you ain't having it. Buy HughesNet. It's like, but that I don't want that shit. That shit can't even play a game. You know what I mean? The latency down, and then when you go over 100 gigs of data, they hammer the shit out of you. Fucking, it's like almost $7-8 a gig. You know what I mean? I don't want that at all. I want high speed internet with a terabyte. You know what I mean? A terabyte would work so I can watch my TV. I watch Roku. You know what I mean? At least this TV is a Roku TV. Or, you know, if I want to watch Hulu or, you know what I mean, Netflix, I'd love to do that. I have all the apps that I pay for, but, you know what I mean, I got one I can't get on my phone. It's ran off the Xbox. The other ones are all on my phone, and it's like, you can't run them because you need internet. You know what I mean? Well, they're all on the TV, I should say, not my phone. I got all the other stuff like that, and I just removed them because of the amount of stuff I do on YouTube. So I have that, you know what I mean, that I can't even do anything with. So I got here's another idea. I said it, some haven't been watching. I don't understand what the deal is. So like randomly, you get like a ridiculous amount of views, and then it's like nothing for a couple of days, which is kind of odd. And then you got the YouTubers that think they know everything. You hear buy into me. I'm not going to tell you all the details until you buy into me. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? You're making a YouTube video about YouTube and then wanting people that are trying to do it to better themselves just cause you want them to pay them, so all these people are paying you. And then at the end of the video it's like, oh yeah, you gotta pay. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tell you all the details. Well, you know what I mean? That's like me doing a video on my truck. I ain't gonna tell you all the damn details. Or making a YouTube video about building an engine and not telling everybody all the details or the specs. But I know some out there have them. Like I said, these cigarettes suck. You probably see me smoke a whole bunch. But yeah. Homeless women. My brother really did rip me off, by the way. I'm not joking about that. If anybody was wondering, it's like that day. I'll actually explain that one since I actually can do this now. He calls me. I've been working for him, and I do it all the time. And I don't like to be a dick. You know what I mean? He tried to turn it around on me when I said something to him, but he was actually being a dick. So I was like, all right, enough is enough. And because I know he's a punk, not wanting to pay, I'm going to make a YouTube about him and embarrass him. Because there's things about it, things in your life that you shouldn't tell people, like including his dog that he keeps just, I don't care. I don't care. But then I'm running a page that has dog. So if you understand me, you know what I mean? If you've seen my Instagram, you've seen the pit bull that, you know what I mean? It was like a matter of hours they had a new home. But what happened was, okay, normally what usually happens is he messages me, I'm on my way, and it takes him like 2 fucking hours, 2 or 3 hours, no joke, to drive the Golden Turd here and whatever the fuck he does beforehand, and to picking me up. So it's like, okay, you know what I mean? I want to jump in the shower because I had a rough. I was working on my truck the night before. I don't remember what I was doing. I might have been recording something with my dogs. Plus, sometimes I'm up really late because my daughter don't want to go to bed. I don't remember what it was. So, a warm shower would wake my ass up. You know what I mean? That's what I did. So, I was only in there for like 5 minutes. This, oddly, out of nowhere, he chose immediately up here and couldn't wait. I look at my phone and seen that he messaged, and it was like, messaged you 5 minutes ago. And then by the time I got my clothes on, it was like, it'd be 10 minutes. I grab my tool bags, get outside, and look, nobody there. So I sat there like, thinking like, you know what I mean? This motherfucker, you know what I mean? This motherfucker really do that. Has a hard time getting jobs done in a timely manner. It's one thing that pisses people off, homeowners. But has a hard time getting jobs done in a timely manner. And then, like, it just starts this, and it's always, to me, it seems like there's jobs that he can do himself. I've got a bug in my hair. The shit jobs that nobody wants to touch. I'll take that, you know what I mean? I'll do that for you. This sheetrock job I was about to do, you know what I mean, and help him with, the day before it, yeah, that's what it was. The day before it, I worked. It was like he took the weekend off because he wanted to spend time with the girlfriend who thinks he's in love with somebody they'd only known for like 4 months. And my UPS order for them shackles, the fronts came in, so we had to leave early. But then I find myself, we only put 2 pieces of sheetrock up, and it's like he was just mentally fucking confused of how to cut sheetrock. And he's older than me, and we've been doing this for years. Okay? He'll measure it. It's like he gets to the tape measure, and it's like, retarded. So, you set a piece of sheetrock, regardless it don't fit, it's like, make it work. It's like, you motherfucker. It's like, this ain't how it's done. You're making me waste my fucking time. If you can understand that, if you do contracting stuff and construction like me, you kind of get irritated by things like that. Because 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, then you're up to 1,000 times that it's being done to you. It's like, you're fucking slowing me down, motherfucker. Okay? This is your business, not mine. I know how to do this. Why the fuck? You should be working for me. You're acting like you're a laborer, okay? There's other jobs that, you know what I mean, I had to speak up to other contractors for him because he doesn't like to speak up, if that helps, you know what I mean? So that's kind of set me off, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, dude, messaged him, was like, really? You know what I mean? You're gonna leave? Really? I got 6 other places. I got 6 other, you know what I mean? I got 6 other places I go. It's like, but you're always waiting on them 6 other people to pay you when you're done with the job. It's at least that's what he tells me. So, I can't get a hold of the owner. You know what I mean? And then it's like, then you notice the pattern. It's like every job has an excuse when it comes to pay time. It's like, are you fucking around? Are you fucking with me? You know, come on now. Then, because I said, are we really gonna fucking do that to me? I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Just like the dude told me. But then again, I actually have a reason to tell him this. because I did get ready. It's not like, you know, I didn't show up to work because he's picking me up. He actually was a dick and just drove off because he, you know what I mean, he thinks that you got to bend over backwards for others that are homeowners when you actually don't, because you're doing the job. And if you already are contracted to do that job, then you can, he already does it already. Take your sweet ass time doing it, especially with no help. You don't want to hire other help because, that I can't trust them, because, you know what I mean, as a, he it's all because he's used to ripping people off like me. You know, I had enough of it, you know what I mean? God damn. I worked for him for 10 years. This is my actual problem, and you're wondering about what my deal is, because I know so much. It's kind of hard to do a resume when you work for somebody that's gonna, if a reference calls him, he's not gonna, just because he's family and he's a dick like that, he's not gonna give them anything good information about me. That's what it is. Even though half of the jobs I did all the work myself, like scraping popcorn ceilings, it's like, oh, I can't do it. I don't. And then it's like the way you get treated when you're doing the job, you're doing it most of the work. All he wants to do is like the other the easiest stuff. Or, I'm going to leave you at this job while I go bump uglies and eat dinner or eat lunch with this girlfriend. You know what I mean? That kind of bullshit. So, I had enough of it. You know what I mean? There's going to come a time where he's going to need my help. And guess what? Pay the fuck up. That's just how it's going to be. I ain't helping you. Pay me. You're going to pay me. And that's happened before. Twice. I did that to him twice. And he'll know that he's in the wrong. The one time it was just because he was married, and the girl, the lady, she looked like a man. He left her. She controlled his whole life. Couldn't see his family. Not allowed to see your family, by the way. It's like, really? So, it's just me trying out this new feature, if this actually is going to work. So, I haven't seen anything pop up. To me, it seems like this is, like, the viewers are being blocked. So, if anybody sees this and pops in, at least like it. And I need the subscribers help. I noticed that too, that for some reason there's some commercials on some of my stuff, because I watch my playlist. So, because if you watch it, because I'm going to leave this at the end, this is going to help some people that are going to watch and are just starting out their YouTube. If you put your own content in a playlist in their videos, you can go back and watch it, and it goes towards your watch time. It counts it every time. So it has to, because it's only fair, you know what I mean, that it counts it. So if you put your video on, turn the volume down, even if you've seen it 1,000 times, you know what I mean, you turn the volume down, and say you got more than enough videos that add up to like 10 hours, you hit the little red play button and let them play through, and it's 10 hours of watch time, you know what I mean, that you added to your list that you aren't getting, you know what I mean, if you want to help build it. That's the way I see it as. And I've tried multiple different techniques, and half the stuff that some of these people that are trying to give you advice on how to run your YouTube, I like this one actually. Your title. Your title's wrong. Your title's wrong. You gotta have what others are thinking. How the hell am I supposed to know what you're thinking? Why can't I have my title? Understand this. You know what I mean? I know people that got crappy titles and they got a shitload of views. That's completely inaccurate. I got ones with crappy titles. I've even like I said, I tested some of this stuff. Okay. Oh, okay. That's a good title. Oh, okay. And it got 2,200 views, or 2,200 views, I should say. 2,200 views. That one got. Maybe more. There's a couple of them like that. You know what I mean? That was a good one. You know what I mean? That's got almost 5,000 views. That's what I don't understand, is people trying to tell you how your headline is. It's like, no. And I like Ginger Billy. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that I see his stuff on shorts all the time. Where's my stuff actually going? Because I don't think it actually is. So I shouldn't have to have others, like I said, look back or try to research it. They can find it on Google, but sometimes searching it through YouTube, it seems like it's blocked out. Like it ain't getting out. You know what I mean? There's like other things, you know, that they see. But even with my dogs too. You got like that actually happened. It's like when the last time I had a spike in views, it's like check it. It's like, holy crap, this one's really going up. And it was like the princess crying at the door one. It's like, and I noticed it was odd too. So if you watch this and you're going to throw the dislike up, just remember this. When it's lit, like, I noticed it was like 9 likes. In it it was like 8 likes and exactly 8 dislikes all at the same time. Okay? So understand how this works. Okay? I got other pages that I run. Those are also other accounts. Not all tied into the same thing. So it's like, okay, because I don't want that video having any type of crap in it, which it made it so it got more views, okay? Because they disliked it that many times. And I noticed it was odd, like it's almost like somebody had 10 accounts, one person disliking at the same time. It's like, okay, 8, okay, 9 likes, 9 dislikes, 10 likes, okay, 10 dislikes. It's like, I gotcha. 11 likes. So if you can understand that, and if you're doing it to me, stop. You know what I mean? Stop. All it did is help my views. You viewed it. If you're jumped in to dislike it, you still viewed it. If you understand that. YouTube does not count dislikes. That's what's funny about it. Yeah, like the one person that does it, or that has multiple different counts, just understand that when you're normal people that just view YouTube, you know what I mean, then people that do YouTube for you to view have different options. So we might be able to see who's doing it, you know what I mean? And we can also remove your comments. We can block you if you're doing it. I don't choose to because it's a view. You know what I mean? A view is a view. So I'm really dragging this out. I'm trying to get it to an hour of talking, because it will go. I can put this. I believe I can put this on a playlist, I think, and others will be able to see it. So this is Lifted Burblife's first live for the channel. Yeah. It's almost like I got 5 minutes to go. So the waiting game happens. I've been trying to open this bottle of water with one hand. So. Don't do that. It's not good on your teeth. I'm going to have bamboo teeth sooner or later, oak. Whittle some, or make some out of, I don't want rust in the mouth, so I'll whittle some out of oak. Or get some old corn, shove some old corn up in there, corn teeth. So yeah, I will get into it though. After this Suburban, I'm building it for my daughter, like I said. After I'm done with it, I don't, you know what I mean? It's gonna get, if you're noticing the fender, the front fenders, don't sit there and get bent out of shape because of the dents that are there. There's gonna be tube that's wrapped. It's gonna have an exo cage that comes up from that tip of that bumper past where that dent is on the front. Or maybe even parallel to, so it's a corner, to 1 3/4 DOM bent. If anybody's seen Steve K has the baddest fucking crew crab crawler, square body. So similar to what he has, I just ain't gonna be running Rockwells. Probably the same tire though, 47 LTB. That's what the goal is. You know, what I actually want to run is a 47 LTB Swamper, and it's gonna be tubed, full tubed, all 2K or exo cage, all outside, rock sliders that are bumped out. The 14 bolt in the back is obviously going to be pulled out and probably put in something different eventually. That has 456 gears in the spool, but the dually one I plan on building because I can make that wider, I believe. Or unless there's a different option, but I wanted to widen out the back axle, put 40 spline shafts in it, and then eventually remove that 60 and put a crane 14 bolt in the front. Leaf sprung. There, I've seen another truck like it, but it's a 70s body that has a 14 bolt in the front under leaf springs, so I know what I need to do for that. That's the N40 spline shafts, kind of like a rock bouncer. You know what I mean? You don't really need, nowadays, technology stepped up, you don't need 2.5 ton axles to have strong axles. A 14 bolt, because the way it's designed with 40 spline shafts might actually outdo, well, even a Dana 80, outdo nowadays 2.5 ton Rockwell. You know what I mean? The only thing that's superior to what you can do with some of these truck axles nowadays, and this is an opinion, because some will say otherwise. I know some will say otherwise. Oh, Rockwell. Well, okay, but I have seen built Rockwells bust like twigs and 14 bolt axles. There's the little red Express huge muds truck that runs 14 bolts front and back, and he doesn't need Rockwells, obviously. And he outperforms mega trucks, so you can call it a mega truck, but he's still on 44s, I believe, or even 47s. So if that helps. So axle cage on the outside, the whole roof X'd off. Maybe build in lights for the roof, so I have more lighting and lighting on my bumper. And the way I gotta exo it is this is, you know, I've been putting this all in my head, is the actual factory leaf spring hangers that I have actually have to come off, and somebody other than, not me, when I bought the truck, welded the cocksuckers on there. I don't know why. I'm going to cut them off and come up with my own design 52 swap, but it's not going to run the 52s. I'm going to keep the super lifts. Maybe later on it'll run 6-inch 52s, or maybe 6-inch. Well, you can't even get You know what I mean? I'm talking on my ass now. You can't even. Fuck, I was sitting here and thinking it was like, felt like I had lights, like car lights behind me. You can't even get it. It's hard to get 56-inch leaf pack from lift kit places. That's why I did what I did to my leaf springs recently. But axle cage on the out, you know what I mean? Different leaf spring hangers. I don't know what I want to do for a transfer case yet. I don't plan on running a cast iron 205 or a doubler. And if I do, it ain't going to be nothing Colorado related, okay? It's not going to be bought from anywhere in Colorado. Unless they can find a sweet way to unanger me about what they did. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That just... I will not promote their stuff. Yeah, I've done it over the years. I don't know how many people that were just starting out building square bodies that I've told, hey, go buy this, and they went and spent, like, you know what I mean, a ridiculous amount of money, decked the whole damn truck out with all their parts. And then for the Facebook running jockey to pull that crap with me and lie to me, and then it's like, really? You know what I mean? I've been buying, you know, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. I got ya. There's other competitors. So that's the way it is. But anyway, I'm going to cut this out because it's at an hour already. Thanks for viewing. If you're going to view this later on or whatever, or somebody pops in, smash the subscribe. Like I said, I probably build other trucks. You know what I mean? This is all that I got right now. The more subscribers I get, the easier it is for me to get better cameras and different stuff. You know what I mean? Hell, I'll even whistle and diesel a few different things. You know what I mean? Wreck it. Just cause, you know what I mean? A few Dodges. You know what I mean? I got a few different vehicles I would snag up just for the views. You know what I mean? A 80s Dodge. You know what I mean? Even a Cummins one. Just to beat the holy fucking hell out of it. You know what I mean? Hit it, maybe get it all twisted. Just to put it through... You know, like lift it and put the thing through hell. You know what I mean? Just, it never fix a damn thing. Just run it till it's just done, completely just shot. Like some of the trucks that you see. You know what I mean? Or I can't even say like anything Ford related because there's very very few Ford things that will stay running once you. Maybe something with a straight 6. You know what I mean? Maybe something with a straight 6. That's the only thing I can say to probably stay running. Like, I've killed a few different 7.3s. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? 302s. I've killed a Caddy. Like an 85 Caddy. You know the one with the 2-door? They had a Buick like that, but I think it had a diesel in it. 85. My friend had that. And I remember just fucking just getting it in the mud and just front wheel drive, long door on it, water was seeping in. Just he hit this thing. He's like, "Oh, you want to give it a go? You want to go?" Keep in mind, this ain't our car. Okay, this is a long, long time ago. And like he started from the end of his driveway, and you know what I mean. This got the long front end on it, long door, and a tiny trunk. Small little trunk, so that Cadillac Eldorado, 85 or something like that. It's the crappiest looking color. It was like a peach color, I think. I think it was peach, between peach and orange. It was just the ugliest color I've ever seen. So he hits this thing, and like I was out of the car, and this thing had all fucking power buttons, leather seats and shit in it. Everything worked in it. It had this small V8 in it. When he hit that puddle, you know what I mean? Because the construction company, and they stripped the topsoil down, so it's like down like 2 feet in some spots, and it was raining for days, so it flooded. So when he hit it, they like hydroplaned across it, and he was going at least 80 when he hit it. He's like, you should give it a go. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a go. And you know what I mean? This is back when I smoked pot, and I didn't care because I was young and dumb. So he was thinking I was gonna speed up to it. No, I'd bog. So you know what I mean? I'd creeped up to it, dropped this thing in low, and just floored it. And it's like ruts, just cars bouncing like crazy. It starts sinking and getting really slow when it got to the other side because it was deeper. And it's like, fuck, I don't want to get out in this shit. And it's like, you know what I mean? Water was almost level with the window. That's how deep it was. So it's like to the floor. Just not, like I couldn't put my foot into the floor anymore. It was maxed out. Reverse, not even letting off, just hold to the floor. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it creeped out, and it's like, bah, and the crank snapped, and it's like, clack, 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 clack. And then he gave one of my friends, Josh, keep in mind, we're really, really young, a bowl of weed. Because we smoke pot, like I said. It's not against the law anymore, so it's okay to tell these stories. Or my friend Josh gave him a bowl of weed to drive their Terex loader. And, okay, you know what I mean? Not thinking, you know what I mean? We could have put an engine in this car, you know what I mean? We could easily put an engine, and it wasn't ours, it just was there, and the dude kept asking us what happened to my car, and it's like, it's done for. So, needless to say, the car wasn't wrecked. So, beforehand, we got a bunch of guns and shot the living hell. My buddy Bill shot the goddamn. He shot the lock or the ignition right up the side of it with the slug, point blank, with the 12 gauge or 20 gauge. I don't remember, but it shot out the other side and hit the door, blew a hole through the floor. It was impressive. I was like, damn, that's impressive. We shot the hell out of this thing. So it had its bullet holes in just, you know what I mean? So I'm getting to the point. And anyway, Josh gives my friend this bowl of weed to drive that loader. And did he ever drive a loader? No. So not paying attention, he hit the caddy and it flipped it up on its side. And then I tried to roll it back on its wheels and it rolled the opposite way. So usually it takes multiple people to roll a car. It was on its driver's side. So when I started pushing it, it started rocking and going the correct way, but when it started getting more momentum, it rolled into the roof and level with there was no more roof. You know what I mean? So to the point is, this person that owns the car owed me a lot of doctor bills, okay? For something that he did to me. He apologized for it, but he still owed me lots of doctor bills. So in the long run, you know what I mean? He didn't have to, I didn't me them doctor bills anymore, you know what I mean? So it was pretty goddamn funny, so that's just some stories, you know what I mean? I got all kinds of stories. I got all kinds of things, you know what I mean? It's all, you know what I mean? What more can you ask for? Talking to fucking sitting around talking like men. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna cut this off. Like I said, thanks for viewing. I appreciate the views from everybody. Thank you. I wouldn't have been keeping doing these videos if I didn't get as many views as I already have in a shorter period of time. Like I said, now I notice it's like slowed down. You know, it's like there's somebody turned them off. Like you're not supposed to view them. But if you view this later on, like, subscribe. Thank you. You know what I mean, for the views. I need the subscribers. You know what I mean? That definitely helps. Thank you. and thanks for viewing.